All right, hey guys, what's up? This could be video number two because I was having some technical issues earlier, but this all looks right now. So let's get fired up. Let's do the show all over again. I am out here in the garage again tonight. It is hot, 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 hot in Texas right now. You can see I'm still sweating like the banshee, and it's quarter to 10 at night. So it is really, really warm. Been working on changing Earth stuff. I'm working on building out episode number 11. It's been going really cool. Uh, I've been struggling with finding my groove as far as how much animation I want to use from the AI because I want to keep it really, really pointed. Um, I want to keep the focus on the actual audio drama. So, like season one, because it goes out on a streaming platform for the audio, but it also goes to YouTube. It goes to Rumble. So I wanted to give it some cool visual content. And season one, I just did like the bouncing ball with rando video, and I liked it. But all this cool AI stuff. So I started using that, and now I can literally animate like a lot of parts of it. But I like keeping the focus on the audio. And it's really challenging to get the like AI produced animations to really line up with the real audio, the cadences and stuff like that. So what I found is like a nice little balance between like using animation when they're walking, when they're fighting, and then leaving like the actual talking parts to just still shots and stuff like that, and then using a lot of like different stills to keep you really active, into it, activated, that kind of thing. So I don't know, check it out. It's gonna start airing again, not this coming week, probably not next week, but the week after that. So if you're into the Change in Earth, you love what I have to say here, then the best way you can support me is going on over to Change in Earth series and becoming a subscriber. Really appreciate that if you do. And also, you could go pick up books, read the story, and there's lots of options out there for you. I'm going to put up that timeline. I really liked it. I need to get that up on my website, but I've been trying to just relax and get ready for the trip, take a break. We haven't been training this week, so I wanted to do a little bit of that. Alrighty, so my survival tip for tonight is a trend that I've been seeing happening is that people are leaving like cards or flowers on somebody's vehicle, and then they're laced with a drug that when you touch them and go to take them off of your car or you smell the flower, you become inebriated from the drug that's on it. And that's how you become vulnerable. So heads up on that one. Keep your eyes open for anything like that. Also, your door handle, could potentially be someplace where they could lace it. Or they come up and tell you, hey, you got a flat tire or something, you can't pull away. Why don't you, come check it out? So just a heads up on that. Be super ready for anything that goes down. And if there is something on your vehicle, just wait till you get home or wait till you get wherever it flies off in the wind. Who really cares? Um, I guess if somebody ran into your vehicle and left a note, you would know because your vehicle's dented, and I hope that's not a new method that they start using, but golly, you never know these days. All right, my author tip for the night is to read, read, read. So once you write something, read it yourself, read it again, and then read it out loud. And read it with somebody else out loud. Because you really pick up a lot more things that you just glance over when you're reading for yourself. Oh, I also have the computer has a function, right, to read it back to you. And you can do that as well. It's really cool because you're like, what did it just say? And then that's how you realize that, oh, I put the wrong thing in there. I use the wrong word or whatever. I'm pretty good at that, using the wrong synonyms and things like that. So the computer's pretty good at reading that back to you in a funky way. So I wanted to do a little bit talk a little bit more about our country. And, you know, Ben Franklin said that those who exchange liberty for safety deserve neither safety or liberty. So there's a lot of things that are being created that go on that are used to monitor that kind of thing. And the excuse is, well, aren't you safer? And then other people say, well, if you don't have anything, you're not doing anything wrong, then you don't have anything to worry about. And yeah, you do. You have your privacy, your personal freedom at risk with all of this stuff. And so I wanted to just make it really clear that, your freedom ends where my freedom begins. So if I have a problem with that, I should be able to opt out. But a lot of those things aren't happening right now. And freedom is not safe. Freedom is also not possible without morals. So here in the United States, we are based off of a Judeo-Christian law system. And what happened was we started trading morals for money. And that's when the real bad stuff started going down. That's when things started getting really messy. And it actually started Henry Ford when he set up his factories and everything, and he first started making money. He wanted to give that back to the workers. The shareholders actually took him to court and said, no, 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 you can't give it back to the workers. You got to give it to us because we invested in it. And he lost that lawsuit. And then it became this huge game to just make the shareholders money, and the workers really started getting treated as those second-class citizens. And if you're going to run a business, you should give a crud about who's working for you and taking care of those people. That's just the moral, virtuous thing to do. And so that's where, today a lot of people are very upset with capitalism, and they have every right to be. Um, Capitalism is a great thing, and it allowed us to all have, affordable stuff that filled our lives up with stuff. And it's a great thing. However, when you lose sight of your values, that's when you have to have rules and regulations that come in to make sure that you're doing the right thing, because you can't be trusted to do the right thing on your own. So I think we need to go back to like giving a crap about each other, which would be really nice, and taking care of each other. And if you're going to run a business, then thank your employees for helping you out with that business. All right, so the next segment that I'm going to start is really, really important in our time, because we're seeing this push towards socialism and that. And I don't think that I did a lot of studying on World War II and how that could happen and how people could be so duped, because a lot of the populations involved are very intelligent populations, and I didn't understand how things could degrade to that point. So I had to go back and study a lot of history that I didn't really absorb while I was in school. And one of the things that I found along the way was this list that was presented to Congress in 1963 on January 10th by Cleon Skousen. He wrote it also in The Naked Communists. But it's 45 goals that communists had to turn America communism. So the idea was that you could just infiltrate American society and infiltrate American culture and be able to get them to turn themselves into communists. And, kind of look around at what's happening these days, and you can see that they have been implemented. So the first thing that was on this list was that the U.S. should accept coexistence as the only alternative to atomic war. So back at that time, we wouldn't even do business with communists because, from the moral high ground, which, we weren't always doing things the best. I'm not saying we're awesome, man. So many mistakes were made along the way, and I would never say that, like, we were always doing the best thing. But we had that moral high ground of we're not going to do business with communists because we care about your people, even if you don't. And we saw people, we saw genocides, we saw these things happen, and we went, no, if you're going to do that, then we're not going to do business with you. And so one of the ways to get America to play ball was the atomic threat of, okay, we could all go to nuclear war and it would be doomsday scenario. And so you guys have to come to the table now and do business with us, whether you like it or not. And it just really made me think about so many things that have been sold to the American people because we give a crap. And we're like, yeah, we care about the planet. And yeah, we care about these things. We care about making sure it's there. And we care about being green. And we care about all of these, concepts. And then manipulators get in there and use that idea against the American people. Like, oh, you're doing great. You're doing such awesome stuff. See, isn't this awesome? But then the whole time you're being hoodwinked. And it's really crazy how many things in our society right now are like that. I've been kind of blown out of the water by a lot of those things. And so I'm not quite so sure that, you know, go into business with these nations at that time was really and we still do. I mean, was that really the best idea? I don't know. But only time will tell and only God knows. But that was definitely one thing on the list. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about that. All right, let's not bring it down. We got to stay up. I'm telling you, there's too much going on. There's too many things happening in our world right now for you to worry about personally. Like, you can pick one, have your mission. Make sure you're doing all of your research so that you know you're on point. Because you want to be hoodwinked. There's so many things out there that we just jump on the bandwagon emotionally. But there's a lot of snowballs rolling down the hill right now. We can't, as an individual, take them all on like only Jesus can. And so we just have to have faith that He knows what's going on. So, positive cloud seeding for tonight. Your pain today is laying the groundwork for your successes tomorrow. So, things that are hard for you, things you're struggling with, I promise you they will not last forever. I promise you that one day you're going to look back and be like, okay, that wasn't so bad. We made it. Everything was all right, You just can't let it drag you into the quagmire. If you don't allow yourself to heal and recover from things, then you never will. So if you have the understanding that today's hardships are bringing tomorrow's breakthrough, you're in the forge, you're being, purified, you're being sharpened, you're being honed. And the only way to do that is to go through struggle. So you really have to embrace these hardships. You have to embrace the struggle. You have to embrace when it hurts, and you have to know that you are becoming that beacon of hope that the world needs. We need each other. We need each other to grow. We need each other to keep this country, this beautiful place that it is, and hopefully create a world in that same image. And I'm not talking like a one world order or anything like that. I'm talking about a brotherhood of humanity who's united. And it doesn't matter about creating stuff. It matters about being able to feed each other and take care of each other and have good water to drink and have nice communities and shelters. And I think that's what, we're really, really growing away from. And that's why everybody's having such a hard time mentally, is because we're only connecting online. We're only connecting through these areas. So we don't know what tomorrow holds or what those struggles will turn us into. What we do know is we can have faith that the Lord's plan is in action. We can have faith that those struggles and those hardships have a purpose. And the good news is that you can live in Christ here on this earth. And then if you die tomorrow, you're going to be with Christ then too. So you can live with joy in your heart, not having to take on each one of these issues, not having to fix people, and believing that your struggle today is going to bring tomorrow's breakthrough. All right, guys. I hope you loved the video as much as I love doing them, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great Saturday night and be blessed.